My fiancé screamed. Fine, you want the truth? I'm only with you for money, I don't even love you. During our fight, I went quiet. She smirked, thinking she won. Then I said, thanks for clarifying. I canceled the wedding that night. Her financial security lasted exactly 12 hours. I, 32 male, run a small but successful HVAC company. Started it 6 years ago with a loan from my dad, worked my tail off, and now I've got 12 employees and contracts with 3 major property management companies. I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable. Make about $180 a year after taxes. Own my house outright. Drive a paid-off truck. Got a decent retirement fund building. My fiancé, 28, and I have been together for 2.5 years. Engaged for 8 months. Wedding was supposed to be in 6 weeks. Venue booked, caterer paid, invitations sent. The whole 9 yards. Here's what you need to know. When we met, I was pretty low-key about my finances. Drove the same truck I have now. Wore jeans and work boots most days. Didn't flash cash around. She knew I owned a business, but I don't think she realized the scale until about a year in, when she moved into my house and saw my office setup, the contracts, the books. Things changed after that. Subtle at first, then not so subtle. The fight happened last Tuesday night. We'd been arguing about the wedding budget. She wanted to add another $15,000 for upgrades, better flowers, a live band instead of a DJ, premium bar package. I pushed back, said we were already at $45,000, which was more than I'd wanted to spend anyway. She got angry, really angry. Started listing everything she'd sacrificed to be with me. How she'd turned down other guys. How she'd invested 2 years of her life. How she deserved a proper wedding. I asked what she meant by invested, and that's when she snapped. Fine, you want the truth? I'm only with you for the money. I don't even love you. There, happy now? She said it with this weird triumphant energy, like she'd finally played her trump card. Like admitting she was using me was somehow supposed to make me, what? Deal bad? Cave in? I went quiet, just stared at her. She smirked. Actually smirked. What, nothing to say? That's what I thought. Now can we please just add the upgrades and move on? I took a breath. Thanks for clarifying. Then I walked to my office and closed the door. She knocked after about 10 minutes. Babe, are you seriously sulking? I was just frustrated. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't respond. I was on the phone with the wedding venue. Hi, this is my name calling about the reservation for date. I need to cancel. Yes, I understand about the deposit. That's fine. Please process the cancellation. Thank you. Next call. Caterer. Same conversation. Lost $3,500 in deposits between the two. Didn't care. She must have heard me through the door because suddenly she was pounding on it. What are you doing? Who are you calling? I opened the door. She looked panicked now. I'm canceling the wedding. You're what? Because of what I said. I was angry. People say things when they're angry. You said you don't love me and you're only with me for money. That's not something you say when you're angry. That's something you finally admit when you're angry. That's not, I didn't mean. You smirked. You thought you'd won something. You thought admitting you're using me would make me shut up and give you what you wanted. That tells me everything I need to know. She started crying. Please, let's just talk about this. I love you. I do. I was just being dramatic. You need to pack a bag tonight. We can figure out the rest of your stuff this weekend. You're kicking me out? Where am I supposed to go? Your mom's? Your sister's? I don't really care. But you're not staying here tonight. The crying turned to anger real fast. You can't do this. We're engaged. This is my home too. This is my house. Your name isn't on anything. You have no legal right to be here if I ask you to leave. She stood there for a second, then her expression changed, calculating. Fine, but this isn't over. You don't get to throw away 2 years just because I said something in anger. She grabbed some clothes and her laptop. At the door, she turned back. You're going to regret this. You're going to be alone and miserable, and you're going to wish you'd just listened to me. Maybe. But at least I'll know where I stand. She left. I sat in my living room for a long time, just processing things. Did I feel hurt? Yeah, but mostly I felt stupid for not seeing it sooner. All those little comments. Why do you drive that old truck when you could afford better? My friend's boyfriend bought her a Cartier bracelet. We should look at houses in a nicer neighborhood. I'd written it off as her just wanting nice things, normal stuff. But it wasn't. It was a pattern. A whole relationship built on what I could provide, not who I was. Anyway, that was 6 days ago. A lot has happened since then. Update 1. 4 days later. So, things escalated. The morning after she left, I woke up to 23 missed calls. Texts ranging from, "I'm so sorry, please call me," to, "You're making a huge mistake," to, "You owe me for the time I've invested." That last one really sealed it for me. OWE her. Like I was some kind of debtor for the privilege of her company. I didn't respond to any of it. Started my day, went to work, handled my business. Around noon her mom called. I actually answered this one because I genuinely used to like her mom. Thought she was reasonable. Boy, was I wrong. "What is this nonsense about you canceling the wedding?" "No, hello, no, how are you?" "Did your daughter tell you what she said?" "She told me you had a fight and you overreacted. Couples fight. You don't throw away a relationship over one argument. She told me she doesn't love me and only wants me for money. That's not a fight. That's the truth finally coming out." Silence for a second. Then, "Well, even if she said that, she didn't mean it. You know how emotional she gets." "Ma'am, with all due respect, I'm not marrying someone who sees me as a paycheck. That's my final decision. You're going to destroy her. She quit her job because she thought she was getting married. She has nothing now because of you." "Wait, what? She quit her job?" 2 weeks ago. She was going to focus on wedding planning and then start a family. That was the plan. I didn't know about this. She'd told me she was taking some time off, but I assumed that meant PTO, not full-on quitting. This was news to me. That wasn't a decision we made together. I never told her to quit. You implied it. By proposing, by planning a life together, you implied she wouldn't have to work. I never implied anything like that. We never once discussed her not working. Well, what's she supposed to do now? You've ruined her life. She can get another job. She's 28 with a marketing degree. She'll be fine. Her mom hung up on me. That afternoon, her dad called. Different approach. Tried the man-to-man angle. "Look, son, women say things they don't mean. My wife tells me she hates me at least once a month. You just gotta let it roll off and move forward." Sir, there's a difference between saying something in the heat of the moment and genuinely revealing how you feel. She wasn't mad when she said it. She was smug. She thought she was putting me in my place. Even so, is this really worth blowing up your whole future over? A future built on a lie? Yeah, I'd rather blow that up. He got less friendly after that. Told me I was making a mistake I'd regret, and no woman was going to want a man who bails at the first sign of trouble. Cool story, sir. I'll take my chances. Then came Wednesday. The real dirty tricks started. I got a call from my biggest client, a property management company I've had a contract with for 4 years. The owner sounded uncomfortable. "Hey, got a weird call today. Someone claiming to be a former employee said you've been cutting corners on installations, using substandard parts and pocketing the difference." My blood went cold. "That's completely false. Who called you?" They didn't leave a name. I figured it was BS but wanted to give you a heads up. "I appreciate that. I can send over documentation for every job we've done for you. Serial numbers, manufacturer warranties, everything. I know you run a tight ship. Just watch your back." I knew exactly who made that call. My ex's best friend works as a receptionist at a dental office, but she's always been weirdly obsessed with exposing people. She'd helped my ex investigate her previous ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend. They thought they were some kind of detective duo. I started documenting, saved every text, every voicemail, logged every call with timestamps. Thursday morning I got served. Not legally served, like with actual papers, just served socially. Her sister posted a long thing on social media. I won't quote it all, but the highlights. "Some people don't deserve the love they're given. She gave him everything, and he threw her away over a misunderstanding. Let this be a lesson about men who seem too good to be true." She didn't name me directly, but our mutual friends knew who she was talking about. I started getting messages. "Is this about you? What happened? Are you okay?" I sent the same response to everyone who asked directly. "She told me to my face she doesn't love me and only wants my money. I ended the relationship. That's the whole story." Most people were shocked. A few defended her, said I must have misunderstood or taken it out of context. The context was her smirking while she said it, but sure. By Friday, her stuff was still at my house, and she was demanding to come get it with witnesses because she was afraid of me. Afraid of me. The guy who's never raised his voice at her in 2.5 years. I told her she could come Saturday at noon with whoever she wanted, but I'd be recording the entire interaction for my own protection. That's when the real games began. Update 2. The pickup, Saturday. She showed up at exactly noon with her mom, her sister, and some guy I'd never seen before. Big dude. Arms crossed, trying to look intimidating. I was waiting in the driveway with my buddy from high school, who's built like a refrigerator and happens to be a sheriff's deputy. Off-duty, but wearing his badge on his belt because he's not stupid. My ex's face when she saw him was priceless. "Who's that?" her mom demanded. "My friend. He's here to make sure this goes smoothly, just like whoever that is." The big guy suddenly seemed less interested in looking tough. I gestured toward the garage. All her stuff is boxed up in there. Clothes, personal items, her share of the kitchen appliances we bought together. I kept a list of everything. "You're welcome to check it." Her sister immediately started taking photos of everything. "For documentation," she announced. "Go ahead. I've got my own documentation." My ex walked around the boxes, opening them, making little scoffing noises. "You didn't even fold anything properly. You're welcome to refold it in your own space." Her mom stepped up to me while the others were distracted. Kept her voice low. "You know you're ruining her life, right? She has no job, no savings. She was counting on this marriage. She was counting on my money. There's a difference. And she quit her job without discussing it with me. That's on her. What kind of man abandons his fiancée over a few words? What kind of woman tells her fiancé she doesn't love him and only wants his money, then expects him to still marry her?" Her mom's face tightened. "You're going to die alone." "Maybe, but at least I won't be paying for the privilege." She walked away. The whole process took about 2 hours. They went through everything, complained about half of it, and loaded it into 2 vehicles. My ex tried one more time as they were finishing. "You know I didn't mean it, right? I was just testing you to see if you really loved me." "Testing me?" "Yeah, to see if you'd fight for us, and you just gave up." I stared at her. The audacity was almost impressive. "If that was a test, you failed it. And so did I for not seeing through you sooner." "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means the test revealed exactly what you were hiding. Someone who actually loves their partner doesn't test them by saying they're only in it for money. That's not how love works." She didn't have a response for that. They left. I watched them go, then went inside and poured myself a drink. That should have been the end of it. Of course it wasn't. Sunday night, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. "This is her lawyer. My client is exploring legal options regarding the emotional and financial damages she suffered as a result of your actions. She invested significant time and resources into your relationship under the assumption of marriage. Expect formal communication soon." I called my own lawyer first thing Monday morning. "Let me get this straight," he said after I explained. "She admitted she doesn't love you and is only with you for money, and now she wants to sue you for what exactly? I guess for not marrying her after she admitted that?" He laughed, actually laughed. "Forward me that text and document everything she said and done. This is harassment at best and extortion at worst." "What do you mean extortion?" "Threatening legal action to pressure someone into giving you money when you have no legitimate claim? That's extortion, especially if she's doing it through a lawyer who might not even be a real lawyer." That hadn't occurred to me. I spent the next 2 days gathering everything, every text, every voicemail, the social media posts, the false report to my client. My lawyer compiled it into a timeline. On Wednesday, he sent a response to the number that had texted me. Professional, cold, and devastating. "My client has documented evidence of your client admitting the relationship was entered into under false pretenses for financial gain. Additionally, we have evidence of harassment, including false business complaints intended to damage his livelihood, social media defamation by her family members, and threatening communications. Should your client wish to proceed with legal action, we will counterclaim for intentional interference with business relations, defamation, and harassment. We will also be reporting these matters to the appropriate bar association if you are indeed a licensed attorney. We recommend your client cease all contact immediately. Radio silence for a full day. Then her mom called me directly. You're really going to sue her? After everything you've put her through? I haven't sued anyone. I responded to her threat to sue me. She's devastated. She's been crying for days. She can't eat, she can't sleep. That's not my problem anymore. She made it very clear she was only with me for money. Now she doesn't have access to my money. That's how consequences work. You're heartless. I'm protecting myself from someone who is using me. If that makes me heartless, so be it. She hung up. Final update. 2 weeks later. It's been about 3 weeks since the big fight. Here's where everything stands. The lawyer who texted me? Not a lawyer. It was her sister's boyfriend who works as a paralegal. My actual lawyer sent a formal complaint to his firm. I don't know if he got fired, but he definitely got pulled off any legal work. Her sister dumped him about a week later, which is kind of ironic given the circumstances. The false complaint to my client went nowhere. I sent over comprehensive documentation of every job we'd done for them. Part numbers, warranties, inspection reports. The owner actually apologized to me for even bringing it up and added another year to our contract as a gesture of good faith. Her social media crusade fizzled out pretty quick. A couple of our mutual friends who'd initially taken her side reached out to me for the full story and then went suspiciously quiet on her posts. I didn't ask them to do anything. I just told them the truth. The emotional and financial damages lawsuit never materialized. Obviously. Her family backed off completely after my lawyer's response. Turns out threatening behavior loses its power when someone calls your bluff. As for my ex herself, I heard through the grapevine that she's back living with her parents. Apparently, she's having trouble finding a job because she didn't leave her previous one on good terms. She'd sent a dramatic "I quit" email to her entire department the day after she decided she didn't need to work anymore. They weren't exactly rushing to give her a reference. Her financial security that she was so smug about, it lasted exactly 12 hours. From the moment she smugly told me she was only with me for the money to the moment I told her to pack a bag. 12 hours. That's what she got in exchange for 2.5 years of pretending to love someone. Do I feel bad for her? Honestly? A little. Not for what's happening to her now. That's direct consequences of her own choices. But I feel bad that she's apparently the kind of person who thinks love is a transaction, who sees relationships as investments with expected returns. That's a sad way to go through life. Do I feel stupid for not seeing it sooner? Yeah. Looking back, the signs were there. The way she'd perk up whenever money came up. The subtle pressure to upgrade everything. The way she talked about her friends' relationships in terms of what the men provided. But when you're in it, you make excuses. You tell yourself it's normal. You want to believe the best about someone you love. The hardest part? I did love her. Genuinely. That's what makes this sting. She was right about one thing. I was investing in this relationship too. Just not in the same currency she was. My lawyer advised me to keep all the documentation for at least a year, in case she tries anything else. The harassment has stopped for now, but he's seen cases where scorned exes come back around when they've got nothing left to lose. I changed my locks, updated my security cameras, made sure my business accounts have extra verification steps. Not because I think she's dangerous, but because I never want to be caught off guard again. The wedding deposits are gone. That's about $4,000 I'll never see again. The engagement ring? I kept it. It's in a drawer. Not sure what to do with it yet. Selling it feels weird. Keeping it feels weird too. Maybe I'll figure that out eventually. For now, I'm just existing, going to work, coming home, trying to remember what I enjoyed before all of this. My buddy, the sheriff's deputy, has been checking in regularly. My sister came over last weekend and we just watched movies and didn't talk about anything heavy. Small things that remind me I have people who actually give a damn about me as a person. Someone asked me in my DMs if I regret how I handled it. If I should have given her another chance, tried counseling, something other than just ending it cold. Here's the thing. You can't counsel someone into loving you. You can't therapy your way into making someone see you as more than a meal ticket. If she'd said it in a moment of anger and immediately looked horrified at herself, maybe. But she said it with triumph, with satisfaction, like she'd finally gotten to stop pretending. You can't come back from that, and more importantly, you shouldn't have to. Some people are going to say I was too harsh, that I should have heard her out, given her time to explain, tried to work through it. But here's my question. Work through what? She said exactly what she meant. Anything after that was just damage control. I'd rather be alone and know exactly where I stand than be married to someone who sees me as a bank account with legs. That's the whole story. Thanks for reading. And trust me, if someone tells you who they really are, believe them, even if it's not what you wanted to hear.